Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, we will be looking at the Champions League predictions for match week 8. I've obviously done a Champions League prediction for every single week, apart from maybe one that I missed out on. And we have to look at these challenges pretty much here. So you can see, here's the system. You get 3 points outcome, 1 point home goals, 1 point away goals, 1 point for goal difference. And as you can see, I lost the first 3 games. Then I've won the last 2 versus AAM and Sebastian. And this game week 8, the predictions will be versus Rivi. I finished with 44 points in the last one, with Sebastian finishing with 41, which means I got 44 against 41. And I'm trailing by 14 points into game week 8. Hopefully I can make it a montada like Paris Saint Germain did versus City. First game to predict is Sporting Lisbon versus Bologna. I couldn't care less. I mean, Sporting, obviously, they've fallen off a lot since Amorim left. The vibe is not there anymore. And most of their top players like Cuenda, Gyökeres will be leaving in the summer transfer window. Bologna have been embarrassing in the UCL this season. But I think they picked up their first victory last game week. But I'm going for a 3-1 Sporting. Probably a Gyökeres brace to end this Champions League group stage for Sporting. Salzburg versus Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, I think they're already finalized as a top 8 team, which is absolutely insane. They went on an insane winning streak. I think they've won every single game ever since the game versus Paris Saint Germain. So huge prop to Atletico for that comeback. Salzburg, I think Salzburg completely out. So I'm going for Atletico 1-0. They are trying to focus on La Liga and the Copa del Rey for the remaining end of the season, so I think they won't push too much intensity into this game. Inter versus Monaco. Monaco both fighting for a spot in top 8. Monaco have to win. Inter just have to draw. Even if they lose, I still think they remain a top 8 side, and that's why I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I think both teams will be happy with a draw in this game. Next up is Sturm Graz versus Leipzig. Both teams are already out of the UCL, but Leipzig have picked up some form in the UCL. I think they've won their past 2 games, or maybe just lost game. So I'm going for a 4-0. Just a stat pad session over there in Austria. Next up is Celtic versus Aston Villa, and Aston Villa just gotta get a cheeky job done, finishing top 8, which is a huge achievement for Aston Villa. I think it's the first UCL campaign for them since the 90s or early 20s or something. So a 2-0 Aston Villa win. Next up is Dinamo versus AC Milan. I think Dinamo, if they win the game and some results go their way, they can potentially qualify for the top 24. So they have a lot to play for. Whilst AC Milan, they are in the top 8 zone, but potentially they may have to win this game to confirm themselves as the top 8. And I think even though Dinamo will fight a lot, AC Milan will get the victory. Next up is Juventus versus Benfica. I think Benfica, a draw would be enough to make it top 24. Juventus, I think they're already in top 24. A victory would just maybe, give them some other favorable draws or something. But Juve drawing every single game this season, I'm going for a draw, 1-1. Next up is Lille versus Feyenoord, and these two teams, whoever wins will get a top 8 spot. I think both teams are sitting on 13 points, so whoever wins will get a top 8 spot. Lille obviously at home, Feyenoord coming in with great confidence after that 3-0 victory versus Bayern Munchen, but I'm going for a 2-1 to Lille. They obviously started the UCL campaign really well, recently haven't been the best, but I think this, in the final game at their stadium, they will get the full 3 points. Moving on to Young Boys versus Red Star, two teams once again that are already disqualified from the UEFA Champions League, and I believe Red Star will get 2-1 victory. Next up is Manchester City versus Club Brugge. Club Brugge are already through to the knockout stages. I believe they're sitting on 11 points, while City must win this game to go through, and I believe City at the Etihad will get the job done, a simple 2-0. Next up is Real Madrid versus Stade de Brest. Stade de Brest, I think they're already confirmed top 24. Same with Real Madrid. And that's why I'm going for a draw. I think both teams will fight. Both teams obviously want a victory, especially Brest at home. Want to end this UCL group stage campaign. Their first, I think, Champions League campaign ever in a great way. Madrid also want to try to bounce back. But I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Barcelona versus Atalanta. Barcelona obviously sitting second in the UCL table, which means if they get a victory, they will, cement themselves. But Atalanta need to win this game if they want to get a top 8 spot. I believe they're also sitting on 13 points. And that's why I'm going for a shocking 2-1 victory. I think Benfica nearly got the job done, but Barca made an astonishing comeback. But once again, I just don't think Barca players care that much about the UCL. Sure, first, second place, 5-10 extra million. I just don't think it's that important for the Barca players, whilst Atalanta are coming into this game to win, and Atalanta have been a good side this season. Next up is Girona versus Arsenal, a garbage game. out of all the 16 games you can watch, this is probably the worst out of them all. Two garbage teams. I'm going for a 1-0 to Arsenal to confirm their top 8 spot. Next up is Bayern Leverkusen versus Sparta Prague in Germany. I think it's just going to be a stat pad session for Leverkusen in this game. Next up is Dortmund versus Shakhtar. Dortmund have been so mid this season. Obviously, recently sacking Nuri Sahin, their manager. I'm going for a 1-0 Dortmund. Bayern Munchen versus Slovan Bratislava. I'm getting some Bayern versus Dinamo first game of the season. Let's go with the Bayern 4-0 stat pad session. After that 3-0 embarrassing defeat to Feyenoord. PSV versus Liverpool. Liverpool obviously want to cement themselves as the top place and would want to finish this campaign as 8-0, which is the first team ever in this new UCL format to win 8 out of 8 possible group stage games. PSV, on the other hand, I think if they potentially win this game, they can make it into top 24. They're outside of it at the moment, but I think Liverpool will just be too strong for PSV in this game. And finally, but not least, Paris Saint Germain versus Stuttgart. Obviously away in Germany, but some people are saying, oh, a draw would be enough. Oh, this would be a tough game. Look, I don't care. I don't care. Look, Stuttgart, all respect to them. They're garbage. We should be absolutely annihilating Stuttgart. There should be absolutely no excuses. This is Paris Saint-Germain. And after everything we've been through this UCL campaign, we got victory versus Salzburg, got victory versus City. Let's end this UCL campaign and let's get some goals. We've only scored 10 goals in the UCL this season. A bit embarrassing, especially by our standards, who I believe hold the record for most goals in the UCL group stage. Obviously, that was for the previous format. So let's go with a 4-1 victory to Paris Saint-Germain. Those have been my full Champions League predictions. Let me know in the comments down below what's your Champions League predictions for match week 8. It will be extremely exciting match week 8 because all of these 16 games will be played at the same time, 21 Central European time, and it will be absolute chaos in that live Champions League table. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and as usual, allez Paris.